be at peace. Think about whatever's holding you back from moving to the next level, and set your intention for this conference to release it. Sometimes there's harmony. Sometimes there's harmony. Sometimes there's challenges. And may we remain at peace. Hi there, I'm David Gibson, and welcome to the Sound Healing Conference. You know, for about 5 years now, I've been asking the presenters the big question, and that is, if you had all the money in the world, what would you do to help people on the planet? And it's interesting, just a few days ago, I got a download as to what would be a cool answer after all these years. If I had all the money in the world, what I would do is give it to every single person on the planet. Wouldn't that be amazing if every single person on the planet were a millionaire, right? Then what would we do? Well, then it would be all about how much fun we're having or how high we can get, right? Probably some people would go drink beer, some people would start just doing creative work, right? Everybody would never be struggling to eat or have shelter, and we would have health systems that come to the forefront that are actually much healthier for us and don't hurt people. And then relationships would start resolving because the main two stressors of health and wealth would be gone. So if I had all the money in the world, I would just give it to every single person on the planet. Imagine the whole planet completely abundant. It could totally happen. Maybe just start printing money at that point and make sure everybody's got infinite amount of money. Right? Okay. So before we get started, let me tell you about some things that are going on here at the Institute. First of all, we have our school where we have at soundhealingcenter.com. We have all of our classes. We have a certificate program in sound healing for 20 years with 20 instructors. It's really profoundly effective in changing your life or creating a career for yourself. We also have an advanced certificate program where you become a master at it. We also have recording classes where we teach you how to doing recording, mixing, and producing. We also have our sound healing store with over 400 products. We've got crystal bowls, Tibetan bowls, tuning forks. We've got over 100 CDs and downloads. We've also got books and all of our vibroacoustic stuff. We've got sound lounges, sound tables. We've got vibrating dolphins, vibrating pillows, and now we have a vest. Oh my God, it's so powerful for getting you back to a place of peace and getting rid of pain. We also have our sound therapy center where we do a wide range of treatments. We've got a brainwave assessment where we can find your actual frequency and rhythm of your metabolism where you're at peace. And then we give you CDs and delta for sleep, theta for creativity, alpha for learning, and beta for thinking and overcoming ADHD, and gamma for blissing out, tuned precisely to your brain to get your brain back to its stable, consistent vibration. This is really good for anxiety, depression, PTSD, especially good for traumatic brain injuries, and also really good for dementia and for autism as well. We also have our research foundation where we've got over 1,000 clinical papers that you can check out at soundhealingresearchfoundation.org. And we've also got our Medical Sound Association with over 1,000 doctors and sound therapists meeting bi-monthly to create a full range of treatment plans. And you can actually join this by going to medicalsoundassociation.com. We also have over 30 treatment plans, detailed treatment plans for the issue, the approach, the safety guidelines, so we can get it into hospitals, intake questions, and actual treatments for grief, anxiety, depression, trauma, dementia, addiction, pain, autism, cancer, anger. Each one of these is like 30 pages long and really well thought out and informed. Sleep, schizophrenia, thyroid, traumatic brain injuries, adrenals, blood clots, heart conditions, digestion, suicide, and end of life. So check that out at medicalsoundassociation.com. We also have our Sound Education Association. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. So the main site is soundhealingcenter.com. Now, for our treatment center, we now also have an online treatment center where you can actually get a one-on-one treatment with sound way better than Zoom. We've trained everybody on how to do the miking and how to use effects and such to make it sound like a CD quality live online. So you can actually, we've got a ton of different practitioners ready to go that you can book treatments with. And or if you want to be a practitioner, you can sign up to receive a treatment. Let me play a couple of these here. That's Lisa Rafael, one of our instructors. So you can get treatments at soundtreatmentcenter.com. So we've also, I've created this whole visual system for teaching audio recording that uses bubbles to show different structures of mixes. So each sound is a sphere. And volume is front to back, panning is left and right, frequency is up and down. So in my book, The Art of Mixing, I'm able to show all different structures of mixes visually. And I've sold 100,000 copies. It's the book used in colleges around the world. My Art of Producing book is also the #1 selling book in producing. But I've also created a version in
the Oculus in virtual reality where you can mix with it. And we're now getting that out as an interface. Instead of using pictures of a mixing board, you'll be using the actual sounds between the speakers. But now we've got a healing system where we've got a nice prototype and we're working on in virtual reality where you can look down and see a graphic of inside of your body, and then you get a whole database of sounds and visuals, sacred geometry, images that have their own healing capacity, and you can place them in the body and or do use an assessment system to tell you where they should be in the body. And then you place it in the body, it will move it up and down on the sound table or on our vest. So you feel it vibrating in the body right where you're seeing the sacred geometry visual. So if you have a sore knee, you've got very specific visuals and sounds for that knee. And you can have sounds and visuals through the whole body. You could do a chakra treatment. You can also have sounds and visuals flowing through each of the 11 systems in the body while hooked up to EKG and EEG, so they'll be synchronized to your metabolism. And when you go into sync, you'll be able to see it all flowing through your body. Oh my God. Also, you can be in rooms of light, but you can also be an angel with all of your chakras and auras lit up with light. I can't wait to have to test it. Okay. I also wrote the #1 book in sound healing, The Complete Guide to Sound Healing. You can get a digital version or a physical version. We also have created a bunch of movies. One movie is Close Encounters 2, where the aliens come back as bubbles and show how to heal every disease by putting sounds and visuals inside the body. And they show the visual and sound of love and say, if you ever want to light up your heart, here you go. Here's the frequency, right? We also are working on a new medical system. These are some big projects. Anthony Holland's got the different frequencies that will get rid of cancer 80% of the time now. So we're looking at getting FDA approval for that. We also have now been working with a dementia company in Napa called Calabria, and we got a detailed treatment plan where not only are we finding their notes and giving them brainwave CDs, but we're doing sound baths and a full range of vibroacoustics. It's calmed down the whole facility dramatically, which is a real problem because 30% of the people in the facility are really low functioning and they get anxious really easily. So we've been able to calm down the place 50%, not only good for the participants, but also good for the people that work there. And now we're ready to take this into dementia companies around the world because they've been tracking everything, every single thing we've done. And it's in showing how effective it is. We're also looking at doing a research project on pain, finding all the frequencies of the nerves that create pain for all different types of pain. We're going to be able to get rid of, I would bet, 70 or 80% of all pain within the next year with this research project. And then I've got the big project where we're finding the frequency of every single cell and mapping out all the frequencies with electron microscopes or light microscopes so that it doesn't hurt people, and then being able to resonate the body into its perfect, healthy state of you, right? We're also looking at finding the 11 songs within the 11 medical systems of the body so we can have smooth flow through all of the actual systems while in virtual reality, watching the whole thing as well. And then we're looking at doing a project with Jeffrey Martin, who has frequencies of microtubules in the brain that will bring you into oneness in a lab every time. And he can show when you're there by the EEG map. Well, if you're one with the universe, there's no more anxiety or depression or any mental emotional issues. We're talking about the end of all mental emotional issues. And with this treatment, we can get rid of all disease. We're talking about, maybe not in my lifetime, the end to all disease with vibration and music in the body, not just listening, but in the actual vibration and music that is flowing through the body. We're also working on a show for Netflix called The Science Behind the Magic of Sound. Let me show you the 1-minute demo that we did for this. The whole deal is even if we have a cure for all disease and mental emotional issues, most people don't believe it. So we need to let the masses know that this is real. So this is all about the physics of the science behind the magic of sound. Let me show you the little demo here. Again, we have 7 shows where we go through the physics of how it works. We'll go through brainwave entrainment, and then we hook people up to real-time fMRI and show sound healing treatment so you can see exactly what's going on with the person scientifically. Again, this is all about bringing it into the mainstream. And then we've got the last one is the think tank, where we've got major doctors that are open to sound and music vibration in the body. And we'll be basically figuring out the holy grail of how it all works. Because once we get it all figured out of flow systems of music through the body, it's not like we have to do research projects that to try to prove anything because we know how it works and we now just get products out there that will not only heal all disease, but light people up in a really huge way. So those are some of those projects. Now we're also working on a new educational system. It's a system that brings peace into the classroom for better focus and social emotional well-being with science and math based on the laws of physics within nature to create a more grounded and creative child ready to thrive and help change the world in positive ways based on their own special gifts and purpose in life. So the problem, of course, is that these days classrooms are a mess. There's a real problem with getting teachers. Teachers are quitting all over the place because it's so chaos and it's even dangerous. And the other problem is stressed out kids, and then the parents are stressed out, the teachers are stressed out, but especially learning with no meaning. Why are we learning this? Right? I'm not going to lend a brain cell to anything unless you tell me why I'm learning it. And so, if you learn something for understanding the universe and how it all works, that's serious meaning, or for something that's applicable and can help change the world. Also, no more boring exercises. Let's have fun. Let's have a blast. Let's make things that are really interesting, right? And have meaning. And also, here's the big deal 25% of all students in schools are made out to be failures when they fail a test, the big test, right? You can't go to college, you failed. And that leads to drugs, violence, and especially to a lifetime of therapy. I mean, this is wackadoodle. It's crazy that we're actually labeling 25% of our students as failures. Everybody's got their own gift, and we got to find it. We got to find everybody's gift instead of making them out to be failures in this society. So we've got years of development. We got a $100,000 grant. We've now got 2,500 exercises that we've created for the kids from 3 months all the way up to 18 years, all based on the books on brain development at each age group. We're now looking at creating a curriculum for all subjects based on vibration. Some will be more informed by vibration, like the math and science, than others, but we're actually going to do every subject matter and create a new curriculum. It'll take a few years. We'll have a whole team of people that are good at everything from Waldorf to Montessori. And then we're going to finish the 2,500 exercises that we've got. And then we're going to do proving and research to show how peaceful the kids get. And we'll show how that's really good for focus and healthy social emotional learning. And then we're going to create a curriculum video of all the curriculums at every age group. So we'll have the ultimate curriculum that can be played online or on TV even, or it can actually be used, bits and pieces can be used in the curriculum that anybody is doing based around all of this. And then we're going to implement it in schools around the world. We're actually going to create private schools in at least 20 countries, and then we're going to track it in detail as to how effective it is for 3 years, and then go to the government and say, look, you need to implement this in all of your schools in this country. Look how effective this is. And then we're going to implement it in the same way in the US. What we're talking about is a new educational system where kids are lit up like Christmas trees, right? Where they're more peaceful, they're learning math that's actually applicable, and more physical and emotional health and healthy relationships, way more creativity, and especially a lifelong excitement for learning. If we can make it so that kids are no longer scared of new information or learning, it will affect the rest of their life dramatically. Instead of fear of being wrong, it's like, oh boy, I can't wait for the next opportunity to grow and learn and help change the planet. Let me show you one more thing. When I was in Egypt, I got a download to build a chamber, which is the king's chamber with a dodecahedron around it. Here's the king's chamber, and a dodecahedron around it, and an octahedron around that. And we now have it working in virtual reality, and we now have architect that can build these. This one will hold 25 people. There will be a staircase with a little bridge that goes over so you can get people in there. And when you tone its resonant frequency, oh my God, you will go into another dimension. We're also now selling the smaller versions, which is based on 108 hertz. It's about 10 feet long, and it will hold about 4 people, and very safe because it's from a excellent architect, but it will get you totally high and in other dimensions. So if you're interested, let us know and we can help build it. Or if you have an Oculus, let me know and I can send you the link to be able to check it out in the Oculus. You can find us at soundhealingcenter.com, or david@soundhealingcenter.com is my email, or call me 415-777-2486. That's all. Now enjoy my presentation. For my first presentation, I'd like to give you an overview of the physics of sound. This is really important if we're going to bring sound into the mainstream. There's a lot of people out there that still think this is woo-woo, right? I remember when I first told my brother from Massachusetts that I was doing sound healing, he says, what the hell are you doing that shit for? And then I started telling him the physics that I'm going to be going over here, and he actually started listening to me. Also, it was really interesting. He got 4th stage prostate cancer and then went into Massachusetts General Hospital, and they had paid me $10,000 to do a whole series of CDs, and they were advertising it on the TV in the hospital. And he saw it when he walked in. So finally, he started talking to me then, right? So it's really important to really be able to explain what's going on with sound. First of all, our belief system is 90% of why something works. So if you can explain it to somebody and they believe in it, then that's much more likely that it's going to be effective. Same thing with yourself. If you believe in it it's going to be more effective for you when you actually do it, when you actually do treatments or work on yourself as well. Yeah. The whole goal is to ultimately one day get back to where we can all heal ourselves and heal each other and take our power back from the whole pharmaceutical companies, right? Right. So this is about learning how sound actually works. I was a physics major at UC Berkeley, so most of this comes from my physics classes there. So to begin with, the most basic aspect of sound is the difference between chaotic vibrations and stable vibrations, right? A chaotic vibration is like fear or anxiety or stress or pain or anger, right? Which is quite different than the stable, consistent vibrations, which are like the vowels. Anybody can feel the difference, right? What I've learned is peace is a frequency humming consistently. And that's the basis of all sound healing. That's why when nobody knows what they're doing, it still works because they're creating peace in you. And often when you get to a place of peace, miracles happen. Oh my God, the cancer's gone, right? People do sound baths with instruments that are stable, consistent, like crystal bowls, Tibetan bowls, tuning forks, even stable, consistent rhythms. And then it gets people to a place of peace. But it gets way more detailed than that. From there, we can actually go into the specific frequency of every cell. When you resonate a cell into its natural resonant frequency, it makes it healthy. Good science around this. Also, we can actually find the frequency of a cell and turn the volume up and explode it. So we can get really detailed with frequencies of every cell, every organ, every part of the body, every material in the body, even the frequency of different emotions, and even the frequency of spirit and source. It's all vibration. There's nothing more basic in physics than vibration. Vibration is the basis of all reality, right? So this all happens at multiple levels too. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. But it's not just frequency. Let me share my screen here and show you a little more detail. A lot of people say, oh, it's all about frequency. Well, that's one part. A frequency is a pure tone, one frequency. And we use tuning forks or tone generators commonly to create pure tones. Crystal bowls are pretty pure as well. But we also have a combination of frequencies called harmonics that create a timbre. A timbre is simply a sound. All sounds are generally a combination of frequencies, a bunch of frequencies that happen to be mathematical relationships to each other based on mathematical multiples, 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times. But it's just a bunch of frequencies that make one sound different from another. So when you add up a bunch of frequencies, you get a waveform, which is that tonality or that color of that sound. It's the energy of that sound. Then there's another level where we can work with musical intervals, the relationship between different sounds or different notes on a piano or different notes on any instrument. And that's a whole nother level where you actually get into the whole emotional world now. But then there's the whole level of music with melody and rhythm, and then the whole level of energy. Now, the whole deal at each one of these levels is peace. So at the beginning, we were talking about peace at the frequency level, stable, consistent versus chaotic vibration. At the timbre level, we generally think of peace in a sound as a warm sound, which would be like a harp. Gongs are activating, they can break up stuck energy, but the harp is a much warmer sound. So we often think of that as one of the most peaceful sounds. I mean, there's also the tongue drum, which is one of the warmest sounds where you're hitting the wood with the mallet, a wood drum. And so that would be peace, or warm sounds. But then at the musical interval level, it's about a harmonious chord versus a dissonant chord. A harmonious chord feels sweet, and a dissonant chord is a little more edgy. At the music level, it's all about smooth flow. Peace is smooth flow. And that's like, instead of a rough flow, ba da ba da da ba da ba ba, it's more like da da ba ba da da ba da da ba. And then the worst, or opposite of smooth flow, is a blockage. Ah, ah, ah. That's the worst. So it's all about smooth flow. At the energy level, peace is also smooth flow. Gratitude's a pretty cool, peaceful energy with a pretty cool flow. Universal love's not bad. Compassion's pretty cool. And source is the most smooth flowing energy there is. So smoothly flowing, it feels like a state of being or a frequency. So it's all about peace at any one of these levels to get you into a state of coherence, which is where health ensues, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. That's the overview. Now, here are the laws of resonance that I learned about in my physics class at UC Berkeley. Let's go through each one of these and give you a wider perspective. The most basic aspect of sound is vibration. And everything in the universe is vibration. Now, we're not just talking about sound. We're talking about electromagnetics and light. We're talking about, as well, the quantum resonant frequencies, sometimes called scalar waves. So there's all these different levels of vibration: sound, electromagnetics, and quantum. And it's all vibration. In physics, there is nothing more primordial than vibration. Some people say numbers, but even numbers are different vibrations. When you zoom in far enough with the microscope, with an electron microscope, what you see are actual vibrations. It's all just vibration. All matter is vibrating, and that's what makes one thing different from another. The second law of physics is everything has its own natural resonant frequency that it vibrates at. This is just basic resonance of one thing. Now, that resonant frequency is what makes it what it is more than anything else. In fact, in science, we commonly categorize things based on their resonant frequency. All the different elements, those are just different frequencies in chemistry. So the resonant frequencies, well, let me put it this way. Most things have multiple frequencies. They're not just one. But just about every single one of those things have a fundamental frequency that all the other frequencies are based on. So that fundamental is the main resonant frequency that makes it what it is, whereas all the harmonics or other frequencies give it a little more nuance as to what it is. So finding that home note or resonant fundamental frequency is really the core of what makes something what it is. But then we've got triggering resonance. If I take a wand like this and hit a crystal bowl with it, this wand is not the same frequency as that crystal bowl. But what happens is when I hit the crystal bowl, it triggers the crystal bowl's resonance. In physics, resonance is stored energy. So when I hit that bowl with the wand, I'm triggering stored energy, which means that that bowl is now putting out more energy than I gave it, which is really interesting. And if I hit that bowl for 1,000,000 years, it will still put out its own energy, which means it's got infinite energy at its resonant frequency. And that's the same with everything, and everything has a resonant frequency. So there's this portal with resonance to infinite energy, ultimately. It's stored energy. But now, you've probably seen this or heard this, is sympathetic vibration. And that's where you have two things at the same frequency that trigger each other. The best example of this is actually love. Hopefully not triggering each other, but triggering each other with love, right? One transmits love or resonates love, and the other picks it up and resonates it back. And that's a sympathetic vibration. Around here, we've got about 30 bowls on the shelves. And if I sing in the classroom, if I sing, woo, some bowl is going to start singing back. And that's sympathetic vibration. Let me show you a really cool video of sympathetic vibration. This is the actual metronomes triggering each other. Check this out. I'll skip around because it's pretty long. Okay, so this is a bunch of metronomes. I'm going to skip forward. Still one over there. He's catching up. And finally, they're all in sync. Amazing, huh? It's like we're all trying to synchronize with each other all the time. It's like basic physics. We're all built to synchronize with each other all the time in sympathetic vibration. Now, what's really interesting is whenever you have one or more vibrations at the same frequency, it creates in physics what's called a resonant field. And this is measurable. It's measurable. If you have two people in love, you can feel the energy of the two resonating together. But if you get a room full of people resonating love, then it's much stronger. Or if you get 1,000,000 people or 1,000,000,000 people on the planet resonating love, this is a powerful resonant field. It's really powerful. And this is where it really comes into play. This is the most important law of physics there is. Technically, it's called forced resonance, but I like to call it dominant resonance. And that is a strong vibration will entrain a weaker vibration into the same vibration as the stronger. If there is change in the world, this law of physics is what caused it. A stronger vibration entraining a weaker into the stronger. Now, this is a really big problem on our planet. The number one problem on our planet is mass consciousness. Mass consciousness of chaos, fear, anxiety, anger, and especially disempowerment, not empowered. And this becomes the norm because it entrains us. Billions of people are entraining us into the same energy. If everybody on the planet were in love and light all the time, everybody would be in love and light all the time, right? Or if even half of the people on the planet were, it would entrain the rest of the people into love and light. But mass consciousness is, we are totally synchronized to this energy. And we learn it, especially not only through DNA, but through our parents as we're growing up, and then through school and society. We're totally entrained to this, all these different energies. So this is a huge problem on the planet. But it's also built into the way our brain works. Our brain has neural pathways that can get really deep ruts. And this is well known in behavioral studies. It's really hard to change a behavior because these ruts get really entrained and very deep, and it's very hard to create new ruts when you got these other deep ones that of the patterns that we fall into all the time. So even there, it's really a problem, this dominant resonance. Now, there was a study that some people did where they asked people, what's the most natural frequency to you? And 70% of the people said, they gave them all the frequencies, and 70% said it is 60 hertz. Well, 60 hertz is the electricity in the walls. And then they did the same study in Europe, and they said, okay, what's the most natural frequency for you? They played all the frequencies, and 70% of the people came up with 50 hertz, which is the electricity in the walls in Europe. Even though it's not strong, it's there all the time, and we totally synchronize to it. Now, 50 and 60 hertz are not bad frequencies, but the problem with electricity is it's not stable. It's chaotic. It's like this. Right? All day long. And our whole system is going synchronizing to it based on the dominant resonance, right? And so we get frazzled. Now, you can actually get a capacitor and install it at the entrance to your electrical system in your house, and it will change your life. It's really amazing. Now, again, we also get entrained into anybody that's in anger or anxiety or stress around us, but also scattered people. We totally get entrained into the scatteredness. Not to mention all the scattered energies coming in from Wi-Fi and cell phone towers. We're totally at the mercy of dominant resonance in this noisy world. It's a mess, and we have to work hard to be able to create our own stable, consistent vibration and not be entrained into the chaos. Right? But dominant resonance is also our friend. Dominant resonance is also the earth. When you tune into the earth energy, it is a massive, stable, consistent, beautiful vibration that is really peaceful. Even better, or more similar, is nature. We go out into nature all the time to get not only peaceful energy, but flow systems, smooth flow systems that are totally based on life-giving, right? And we get entrained into that. Even better is the life giver itself, the sun. Ooh, right? When you synchronize to the sun, you're totally synchronizing to a stable, consistent vibration, dominant resonance. But even better is your soul. I believe that your soul does not need healing. I believe it's perfect and massively, perfectly stable and consistent. And when you tune into your soul, you're completely at peace. Many spiritual traditions talk about building the bridge called the Antakarana to the soul, so it is the control of your being as opposed to your emotional body, roller coaster, and your mental body, which is kind of all over the place as well. Your soul, when you actually have that as the leader, you're way more peaceful. But the best dominant resonance of all is source. If you've ever been one with the universe, there's nothing better. It is profoundly peaceful. And there's universal love there as well, as people report. It's really, really the best dominant resonance. So dominant resonance is not bad at all. In fact, it is the main tool that we use in sound healing. We use the voice and not only toning and chant and mantra, but we also use all the stable, consistent instruments to actually entrain our whole system into coherence and stable peace. Again, if there's change in the world, anywhere, at any level of reality, it's based on this law of physics. That's really profound. Now, in dominant resonance, the problem is we can use sound or any other thing to entrain us into health or a high state of consciousness, but commonly we go back to our old ways. We don't stay there. Transformative resonance is where it transforms forever. And this is really cool. There's an actual video on YouTube where they actually put a laser through a frog egg into a salamander egg, and then the salamander egg changes into a frog egg and bursts a frog. That's transformative resonance. There's also the story of Anita Morjani, who had 4th stage cancer. She had welts all over her body of cancer, and then she died and went into the light and realized that all the cancer was coming from worrying about what other people thought about her. And she was enveloped with love and light and came back, and within a month the cancer was completely gone. Transformative resonance, and it never came back. There's also, they say we're going through a torsion field in the galaxy that's actually transforming us into higher consciousness. It's a little stressful, actually. And it's really changing our DNA and everything forever. It's interesting to think about the times or things that have happened in your life that were transformative resonance. Sometimes it's drugs. Sometimes it's an accident. Sometimes it's just sound. I remember when I was in the King's Chamber in the Great Pyramid in Egypt and doing sound and toning the resonant frequencies of the room, and I went into a high state of consciousness and I was transformed forever. I've never been, my whole voice changed then. I haven't been the same then. So this is what we're really looking for, is transformative resonance, especially transformative that gets us back to who we are, to our soul, and to our soul connected to spirit. That's kind of the best. Then there's destructive resonance. First of all, if you find the resonant frequency of something and turn the volume up, it will explode it. This is the basis of ultrasound on kidney stones. Also, there's the TED Talk with Anthony Holland, where he shows 4 different types of cancer being exploded with 4 different frequencies, electromagnetic frequencies. By the way, he's now got 15 frequencies that will explode 15 different types of cancer 80% of the time. Let me show you a short video here on destructive resonance. Again, this is when we actually find the resonant frequency of something and turn the volume up. If you turn the volume up a little bit, it will make something healthy. If you turn it up a lot, it explodes it. Okay, so check this out.
Shockwaves from a punch can do damage to the human body. Now we're going to time warp at 10,000 frames per second to see how sound waves destroy glass. 37 times a second, the same rate as the sound waves. If I draw in the sound waves, you can see what's happening.
So
One wave.
I skipped over it, but what they're doing, they're actually playing the frequency of the glass. So they ring the glass and they set a tone generator. So it's the exact same frequency as when the glass rings of its own frequency.
Out of the speaker and pushes the side of the wine glass. The glass bounces back just when another sound wave pushes it again. If the timing or frequency of the sound waves is exactly right, the motion will build until the glass breaks.
Wow. Perfect. That's destructive resonance. And it's really, really effective for actually exploding things. Now, by the way, I want to let you know that destructive resonance you can't do with the voice. If we could do destructive resonance with the voice, that would be a real problem. It's like, oh, lost a kidney last night in class, or lost a, gallbladder. Oops, hit the wrong frequency. There went the liver. No, you have to be really loud with frequencies to be able to explode things. Now, but you saw the guy breaking the wine glass with his actual voice. Well, that's a different process than basic destructive resonance, where you find the frequency and turn it up. That was actually binaural beats, where he actually found the frequency of the glass and sang it, and then went off pitch a little bit, which you can do just by doing vibrato. Whoa! And when you go off pitch from the glass, it creates a low frequency difference frequency called a binaural beat or monaural beat, and explodes the glass. So you can break up things that way. I had one of our instructors, she actually had breast cancer, and she did a frequency sweep and found the frequency of the breast cancer and went off pitch a little bit, woo, 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 and then went in for surgery, and they said, the x-ray machine is broken. We can't find any cancer. And they tested her again. They said, it's completely gone. So that's very cool. Even crystal bowls go up and down in frequency, or didgeridoo goes up and down in frequency, and can help break up things based on this second one here, binaural beats. But there's another way to actually break things up, and that's chaotic vibrations. And that could be like a gong or noise. It could, and it's really good for breaking up stuck energy and in the body, like in muscles or an emotion. Here, let me give you an example. Ah, ah, that's a chaotic vibration. Ah, oh, finally let that one go. It's about time. Technically, the first A here is destructive resonance, and these are not called destructive resonance, but they actually will break up things as well. So that's a really cool aspect of physics that we use. So you can resonate what's right and make it healthy, or what's wrong and explode it. Right. Now, the last one here is consistent frequencies are much more powerful than vibrations that are jumping around. What this mostly means is when you have 100% focus with anything you're doing, especially in a healing treatment, or especially in a sound bath, or anything around vibration, when you have 100% focus without distraction ever, it's way more powerful. Again, the electricity in the walls is not loud at all, but because it's there all the time, it's stronger. Same with the Schumann resonance, the frequency that's bouncing back and forth between the Earth and the ionosphere triggered by lightning. It totally entrains our brain into that frequency of 7.83 hertz, which is the main frequency of nature, basically. Even though it's really not strong at all, the Schumann resonance is really weak. If you measure it compared to cell phone towers, it's like unbelievably weak, but it's always there. It's always vibrating. So things that are consistent and stable are just as powerful as things that are loud. So if you're doing a treatment or playing a bowl or doing toning or doing anything with 100% focus, which is like you're in a trance, then that's when it's the most powerful. And if you get a room full of people all with 100% focus, you can just about heal anything. It's amazing how powerful it is. There's one other law that I've learned about that I didn't learn about in my physics class that I want to tell you about, and that's that resonance, or especially sympathetic vibration, where you have one or more than one, actually has gravity in the quantum field. Now, resonance does not have gravity in 3D reality. If you play two instruments that are the same frequency, or you sing to an instrument, it's not like it's going to get closer to you, right? Things don't move in 3D reality. They're pretty stable, right? But in the quantum world, things come to you when you resonate a frequency. When you resonate a frequency of what you want to be or what you want to attract. What we're talking about is the law of attraction here, right? The law of attraction. So if you resonate a frequency and visualize and then embody that frequency, then it helps bring it into you. But if you're, what I've learned is, if you're trying to change your life or create a business, for example, well, it's good to create a huge resonant field around the type of business that you want to do. Let me give you an example. I created a Cirque du Soleil style play called Compassion. And if you go to soundhealingcenter.com/compassion, you can check it out. It's like a 20-minute video with IMAX 3D and acrobats interacting with the IMAX 3D and speakers in every seat. And it's incredible. It's really incredible. We're now getting funding to actually have it in venues throughout the world. And so if I had just thought of the idea and then said, and then told people, and they go, oh, that's cool, tell me more about it, then I would just say, well, I've got this idea to do this. That's not a big resonant field. So what I did is I created a whole website. I created a 20-minute demo with sound and light and visuals of the whole demo, mapped it all out. And so now I've got a big resonant field. And so when somebody said, oh, I heard Dave's got this play, you should check it out, and they came to me, and I was able to show them this website, which is a big resonant field, and it was able to attract a lot of people to actually help get funding and to make it happen, right? So this is really important based on the law of attraction. It's like cool websites, right? Or just start setting up your life like something's already happened. Imagine it's already happened and start visualizing it, and not just visualizing it, but running your life like that. The one thing I learned around health in this area is, you may know now, it was a few years ago, I got some serious blood clots in my left leg. And I immediately thought, it's a done deal, it's gone, right? It's a done deal. So instead of resonating what's wrong and going into fear, I completely was very disciplined. I thought, I can't fool around here, because fear is what will kill you. So I was very disciplined, and I said, okay, I'm going to run my life, and I had many healers that helped me with this as well. I'm going to run my life like the blood clots are completely gone. It's a done deal. For a while, I actually did all this stuff to actually help heal it, put mud on it. I mean, did, full range of alternative healings had psychics working on it. And then at a certain point, this one healer said to me, stop worrying about it, Dave. Stop worrying about it. And I thought, wow, I am. I'm worried about it. And then I just thought, okay, it's a done deal. I'm not going to worry about it anymore. And now, within a month after getting that energy, the blood clots are gone, right? So you really just have to visualize first, imagine it's a done deal, and then be that energy, which is the most important of all. We have this meditation I've done in the conference quite a few times. Imagine everybody on the planet in love and light all the time. All hearts connected. If we all start living like that's already happened, it helps bring it into being based on the dominant resonance aspect, right? The law of attraction is basically dominant resonance. A strong vibration will overcome a weaker and train the weaker into the stronger. This is how we change the planet. But it's really all about actually being in that energy of the stable, consistent vibration, and everything is taken care of, right? You just be in that energy and you don't have to worry anymore. It's all taken care of. And then all the blessings start coming to you. That's the main deal, right? So these are the laws of physics that I learned in college. If you ever have anybody that says, sound healing, what the hell is that? You can pull these out and really tell them these are actual laws of physics as to how it works. It's really helpful. And ultimately, this will help bring sound healing into the mainstream so we can heal each other and heal ourselves again as we did in ancient times. Thank you.